Hey guys, thank you for dropping by. My name is Jay, and thank you for waiting for these videos. And sorry for late. And where am I? Alright, I'm gonna talk about in this video I'm gonna talk about the Litchi automation waypoint missions. And Litchi, they secretly updated the program, which is a virtual Litchi mission 2.1. They add up to the very important features, which is automation of the pattern, grid patterns, automation of the OB patterns. And I'm gonna start with showing the one demonstration what I did a couple of days ago. Now let's find out how it can reduce our time. Once you open, by the way, I'm gonna add up to the link for the downloading the new version of the programs. You can find out the link from the down below description area. So once you open up your new programs, you can find out the couple of new buttons in the left top corner. Whereas the first one is zoom to mission, we're not gonna use it, and the second, it looks like the X icon, it will delete all waypoints. And the next one is reverse buttons, and don't think we're gonna use it, but you guys can find out if that is worth to use it, you can use it. And the second one is finally grid button, and next to it is orbit buttons. So once you press with the mouse right button of the grid buttons, you'll see the basic setup of the grid setup. So you can set up the altitude 150, and above the grounds, I don't want to check it now. So overlapping is a 60%. I think the maximum of the overlapping is a 60%. Depends on how much you need it for the overlapping. You can set up the value of it. And aspect ratios, I always go with the 4:3. And the waiting time, how much you need to how much time you want to drone stopping by each waypoint. So I set up to 2 seconds. I don't think it's working properly. And take a photo, of course. You need to tick that. And gimbal tilt -90 in my case. So click OK. To make the grid patterns, waypoint grid pattern, you need to set up at least 3 point of interest. So let's say I'm gonna cover up this little rectangle shape of the park. I'm gonna set up the one left top here, and the right top here, and the third one right over here. Oh, since we're gonna cover like a rectangle shape, so I'm gonna make another point of interest like somewhere around here. Then you're gonna press the grid patterns button. It will automatically produce the waypoints. Depends on your point of interest, but it's not really accurate, because say that look at the point of interest in number 3. Around that point of interest number 3 is the waypoints already over this distance. So it looks like it's going through the apartment, which is not, I don't want to see it. So you can reduce and move around the point of interest, and then you can produce the waypoints exactly where you want. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna update it. I mean, they're gonna update it in the future versions, but for now, you need to delete it again, waypoints, and then move around your point of interest in, and you need to produce the waypoints again. So I'm gonna reduce about here, and again. Yeah, it's a little narrows. I don't think it's covered like a tennis court here, so I'm gonna delete it. So I'm gonna move out a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Still go over the apartment, delete it. So move a little bit inside and press it again. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna delete anyways. So let me try one more time. A little bit inside. A little bit inside. Is that four point of interesting. Goes around here. Yeah, to save the time, I'm not gonna do it again. But you know what you know what I mean. So you need to move around your point of interest to close to the where you wanna cover it. So let's say I wanna cover this one here with the -90. And if you see it, take a look at the first waypoint. It's gonna be altitude. It's gonna be the 150, which can't really talk. We already set up the. I already set up the basic of the setting from the grid patterns. So and cruising curves. It's okay. Headings. Okay. Gimbal pitch -90 as we set up the basic setups. And intervals, and stay up for 2 seconds and take a photo. That's the 2 actions we needed for each waypoint. So I fly it, and the result look like this. Go to the 3D modelings. There you go. I almost covered exactly where I want from the this park up to the apartment, right before the apartment. So if you look at that, it's really fine. Let's have a look at the 2Ds. See, with that, the patterns, I think it's perfect for the auto photos. There's no gap between the photos, since even though this overlapping is sort of only 60%, it's pretty. It does the great job. There's no empties between each photos right over here. Hold on, let me. There you go. Over here. But the problem is, if you go to the 3D models, you will see the distortions from the ground. So what I mean by that is you can view like this. You see the ground is distorted already. So if you only take with the -91 patterns, you will see the ground level is not flat. Well, the ground is not flat, but it's supposed to be flat, almost flat if you take a flat ground. But you will see the ground looks like a little bit distorted like this. To fix that, I already mentioned it in my previous videos. If you're interested in it, take a look at my previous video to fix that and a little bit of the knowledge behind that. But I made another patterns. So I save it. Let's say I saved my first pattern is 150 altitude with a -90 gimbal tilt, and that's the first patterns. And the second patterns, I delete all of it and I make another settings, say 140 altitude, and the gimbal pitch is -85. And then you produce exactly the same patterns, but since you lower your altitude, the coverage, the waypoint number of waypoints is going to be a little bit increased, of course. So, if you fly the 2 patterns, one with the -90 with a higher altitude, and one with the -85, a little bit tilted your gimbal pitch and the lower the altitude, it's gonna solve the distortion issues. And let's go back to the WebODM's dashboard. Where is it? Distorted. All right, there you go. Fixed mix patterns. If you go to have a look at the 3D model right over here, there you go. It's almost perfect. I think it's almost perfect. So it's a flattened, the fix the distortion issue with the flying the 2 patterns with the different altitude and different pitch angles. So if you are looking for the older photos only, I think it's a one fly patterns. One pattern is okay. It does a good job. If you're looking for the 3D mapping modelings, at least you need to fly it 2 patterns to fix the distortions. Great, that's the demonstration of my test out for new features. Then we have a couple of issues. I'm pretty sure, again, as I mentioned, that they're going to fix it in the future, update it. But then we have a couple of issues. The first one I found is we can't do the diagonal grid, since they only provided grid pattern, which is so say that you fly the first pattern like this, but recommended by the where is that company name? I forgot the name. Say the WebODM. So recommended documents. According to the documents, they recommended the fly patterns looks like this, not 90 degree. Looks like this. So at least you need to adjust the angle of the next patterns between the 2 patterns. But since they only provide like one, they don't provide a diagonal grid patterns, so we need to just fly the 2 times. But I think it works, as we saw that the result of the 2 fly patterns here. This is from the 2 fly patterns, but it already fixed the grounds, flats, and distortion issues. But I haven't tried all of the situations, so it really depends on the situations. Pretty sure they can cover almost every situation, but I can't guarantee 100% they can fix the distortion issues. But it's working. That's the first things I want to mention it. So it doesn't provide a diagonal grid. And the second one, the limitation of the waypoint, number of waypoints. They provide, you can produce the waypoints up to the 99 waypoints only. So say we're gonna cover, let me clean that up first, this waypoints. And let's move to the other area, locations, where is it? There you go. So say I want to cover this small islands, and let's say I'm going to set up the point of interest here, and the part here, and the pretty much the rectangular shapes here. And I'll set up the altitude 150. That's the maximum altitude we can fly the drone in South Korea. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be almost the same, unless you have the special like a request. Anyway, so -90. Click the OK. So once you press the grid buttons, it says the message the required waypoint is 224, but the maximum is allowed at 99. To solve these issues, you need to fly them more than 1 patterns. So reduce the coverage area first until you meet the requirement of 99 waypoints, and try it. There you go. So one time you cover like a part of the left-hand side of the area, and the next time you're gonna cover the right-hand side of the cover area. But it's not really big issue. It's a little annoying, but still it's working. Yeah, just a little bit more job. You need to combine it a little later. Well, you just copy and paste the same folder to all the folders, but still, it's another one more jobs. And one more things. Right, so once you're done with making the plan, it's almost impossible to change the values, the settings at the field. To solve the problem, you need to bring to your laptop, of course. So I'm gonna talk about this in a minute when I talk about the OB patterns, but I actually made the plan and go out there and then try the other allocations, and I was going to try to change the settings. We can't really change the setting because it's a lot of waypoints. You need to individually change the altitude. If you want to change the altitude, you need to individually change the altitude of all of the waypoints. But if you bring the laptop, you can easily do it with a couple of clicking. So if you want to do like a very important job, you probably want to bring your laptop all the time. I do that, yeah. I don't have a problem to carry my laptop all the time. But with the phone, it's really hard to do it. Because you need to, there's a lot of jobs, like 99 waypoints. If that is small, if it is bigger, it's like hundreds of the waypoints. You need to fix that individually. If there is any other way you guys can find out, please teach me. I wanna learn too. Okay, next one. Overlapping issues. So if you're willing to looking for 3D modelings, I think the requirements of overlapping is more than 70%, like 70 to 80%. That gives you more data to produce your 3D objects. So, but the limitation of this Litchi virtual Litchi mission program is 60%. If you want to go higher, you can't change the higher of the over the 60. So lower is okay, but the higher is not working. So, but as you saw the result of my test, it's already working if all the photo is the things you want to achieve that. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit at end of the videos. And next one is photo interval setups. Photo interval setups. Let's go to the other area. Let me show the one more things. Let me delete it and remove all of the point of interest, and let me move it to my office building right over here. So set up the point of interest for a bit, and make the waypoints here. There you go, everything looks fine. Stay up to 2 seconds, great. And photo intervals, settings. Hold on, let me try out. Let me try out first. Hold on. All right. Okay, I tested before, but I really like to confirm that again. So I just confirmed that. So for the settings of the photo intervals, if you disable the photo intervals, it's not working except the first waypoint. If you put it at any values, not working properly. To solve the issues, to set up all the waypoints up to the 100. So let me show you what I mean. So when you start to fly it, first time I set up the photo intervals like at the default. As you can see, that it goes to the first waypoint. There you go. There you go. It will work. No, it's not allowed. It will work at the first waypoints. So it's gonna capture the first waypoint. Start it. And when you pass the second waypoint, it doesn't work. And the third waypoint, it doesn't work. So I stopped it in the background and then tried to change the value of it. Yeah, I was confused with what I did miss. What I missed the settings, and I tried it, this one and that one's, and tried to set up the different value for each waypoints, but I stopped it because I need to change all of the value of the waypoints. So what I did was, at the first, I set up the every 3 seconds. But the problem is, if you set up the every 3 seconds, it somehow capture the more than you need. It's not really efficient way to capture the photos. So later on, I set up all the way to the hundreds. Then it actually worked. So I believe that this is one of the things they probably gonna fix it in the future updated. So you need to set up all the way up to the 100 seconds for the photo intervals. Then it will work. It will take every photo at each waypoint. That's some things I want to mention is. And finally, orbitings. Wow, I think I can finish within half an hour today. Anyway, so go to the orbitings. Click the mouse right click buttons, and you will see that there is a number of orbits here. Oh, hold on, let me clean that up to my screen first. Clean up my waypoint and delete all the point of interest. And go back to the small tower, my favorite tower. By the way, the height of that building is 105 meters from the ground. So you need to set up the one point of interest right over here, and click the mouse right, and set up your values right up here. So number of orbitings, number of the rounds, how many times you want your drone fly around that building. So I set up in this case I set up 3 times. Radius, start, end. You need to put in the value, different value if you want to put in the different values. So I start with 180 meter radius and end up with 150. And the altitude start with 70 meters from the ground. And next one will be the 80, and next one will be the 90. That's why we put in the value 90 end of the altitude. And speed, I probably set up the same speed. Maybe that's that gives you the stable capturing. So speed 15, and end speed is 15, and you can set up the direction of the orbitings clockwise. Set up here. And I didn't take above the ground, and the start angle is 0. And heading modes, center. Then your drone looking at the center all the time when they're orbiting. Okay? When they're orbiting, your drone always look at the center. Outward, looking outward, forward, it will go the way the drone fly. And the backward, of course, your drone gonna go fly, but they're gonna go to the backwards. I mean, capture the backwards. I mean, heading is backwards. So we need to, in this case, we need to set up the center and click OK. You know what? I actually load up the one I actually made it before. Hold on. Also, it's create the testing orbitings right up here. Do I need to? I'm gonna demonstrate how to make it. So make the point of interest center of the building. Keep it in mind that the Google map is not always accurate. Okay, So that's something I'd like to mention is, so once you press the orbit, there you go. So if you zoom in and start from here and it goes around to here and it goes around, slowly narrow down your orbits and finish over here. So 3 times. Let me have a look at the setups here. 3 times, and the first radius 180, but as I set up the 150 ending, so it goes into close to the point of interest slowly, and the altitude is 70, and end altitude is 90, and the speed is same, like a 15, and end speed is 15. The benefit of doing the automation of the orbitings, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna do it for my projects. But the benefit of this one is you don't really waste your how can I say, the coverage of your photos. Because if you fly it manually, you know, you can't really regularly take the photo as the machine does. You can just take photos by yourself, but the machine's calculations are always correct. I mean, accurate, I have to say. But the problem is, you never know before you actually see with your eyes at the field, at the work site. So I went there. I set up the orbit patterns like this, and I went there and I tried to capture the buildings. But problem is, I set up too narrow, too close to the main buildings, so it can't really cover the whole of the building in the every photos. That will make the confused to the WebODM to calculate the straight line, I guess, if you know what I mean. So I try to move around my point of interest. By the way, if you want to move around the point of interest on your phone, you need to press your point of interest in, and press a little bit longer, and then you can move around. Of course, before that, you need to unlock the missions on the phone by pressing the empty area. That will show the message ask you whether you want to unlock your missions. So it's good to have the feature like this, and I'm pretty sure it's very useful. But in my case, my preference, I'm probably gonna do that, like manually capturing the orbitings. But in other cases, I don't know, other situations, somehow it's necessary or it's helping a lot. So good to have the features. That's what I like to mention it. Is that it? Really? Hold on, let me quickly check out what I need to mention in words. So, all right, let's wrap this up. So I'm not the only person who happy to see the Litchi new feature updated, which is automation of the patterns, grid patterns, and the orbit patterns. But I think I kind of have the feeling that once they finish the research of the beta test, which is the grid pattern and the orbit patterns, they're gonna start to change the price structures in the futures. It's just my opinions. Well, until then, well, we can enjoy the low-cost solution for the drone mapping stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy my videos and pick up something from my video as well. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll always try to answer this as soon as possible. I'm sorry guys for the late video because I have a lot of projects these days, and see you guys in the next videos. Ta-da!